So this is Swinley. This is the first bit of the blue trail. I come here all the time. I don't know why I've not done a video from here before, but I don't think I ever have. Not a proper one anyway. So this is Swinley on the Mondraker. See how I find it here, given that this is where I ride a lot and I know these trails very well. So it'll be interesting now for me to see how this feels compared to the Nuke Proof on trails that I ride very, very regularly. I'm not sure why, but this feels nice around corners. I do like the MTB mode. It's nice to be here when it's dry actually, because that bit there is usually a massive, massive bog. It's been a long time since I've been here and it was completely dry. So this is going to be interesting today. I believe this section, which is now Blue 6, it used to be something else. They've renumbered some of this in the last few months. This section I believe has had some work done on it. This bit's all still the same, but I would imagine it's the downhill section. Ah, here we go, look at that. This is all brand new, this bit. Nice and smooth, Swinley sand. Kills your drivetrain when it rains. This is all new as well. Very nice. You wouldn't believe it now, but the section we've just gone through had to be closed off in the winter because it was too flooded to get through and the trail had collapsed. You wouldn't believe it now looking at how dry it is. Now this section I've always been useless at. It used to be called Stickler, and they've rerouted it now, but it's basically just a bunch of mostly flat corners, and they've chucked a couple of tabletops in, which I can't do. A bit weird really, because they're kind of just chucked in the middle of the trail, I think. I'm sure the trail builders can explain otherwise, and I'm just not skilled enough for it. But this is a blue trail still. It just seems a bit weird that they've stuck some tables in when it's flat, and you can't really do anything with them unless you're sort of skilled and experienced. See, here's one. So you come around the corner and it's fairly flat, and there it is. It seems a bit odd. I mean, I can't jump, so I can't really comment, I suppose. So we're actually coming to the end of the first half of the blue. Swinley slightly unusual, in which you have to ride the first half of blue to get to the start of the red. So we're coming to the end of the first half of blue, and then we'll pick up the red. This is the start of the red. This used to be red 2. Red 1 got harvested and they've never reinstated it, so this is now red 1. I don't usually ride this section, and you're going to find out why I don't normally ride this section very soon. So this section is quite tight. Well, I think it's quite tight. The trail's quite narrow. There are some corners, there are some little bumps and roots. This bit is not fun in the wet, I don't think. But the trees are also quite close together. And I've got 800mm bars on today, which I don't normally have, to be fair. And I still don't normally like going through it, so see how we get on today. I mean, the trail conditions are good. It's not wet. Right, we're about to come across the first reason I don't normally ride this trail. And this is it. This is one of the reasons I usually avoid this trail, because I can't ride this. It's too narrow for me. If it was a little bit wider, I might be tempted, but it's just too narrow for me now. I get the weird vertigo. So that gets ridden past. And here's the next one. So I won't ride that one either. When they first put them in, it was quite difficult to bypass them. But obviously, over the years, people have pushed and walked around it, so it's much easier nowadays. Okay, now into red 2, which is always a bog. It's always been a bog. They rebuilt it and it was still a bog. Last time I came through here, I think I turned around and went back again, because it was so wet and sloppy. I mean, Christ, there's still a puddle here, and I can't remember the last time it rained. Right, things start to get a little bit more interesting on this section. It's been a while since I've ridden this section, actually. I usually cut straight in to the next section down a bit of fire road. So this bit of fire road behind me just drops in from another bit of fire road. So usually I just come down here and straight into this section. This used to be known as Red 8. I can't remember what it is now. Red 5 maybe? Red 6? Can't remember. So this is where the Red 8 drops are. Or Red 5 or 6 drops now. I don't know what they're called. Oh, very nice. Oh, very nice. I think I have to see them again. Oh, very nice. Very nice. I love this bike. I'm useless at drops and I'm useless at jumps, and that felt lovely. Okay, there was hardly any air at all, but it still felt nice. I really want to get one of these. So this is the start of the second part of Red. This is Red 7, also known as Tank Traps. This used to be the very last section of Red before they redid everything. So this is going to be interesting to ride because again it's fairly narrow and the trees have grown up quite significantly in the last few years. So it can get a bit narrow in places with branches and things sticking out, and a mate of mine leaned the bike to go around a corner, clipped his bars on a tree and ended up going over the bars. So I don't particularly want to do the same. There used to be a route there that I didn't like and they've taken it out, thank God. And that was Tank Traps. We're now heading up to a fairly new piece of trail called the Jubilee Line? Yeah, the Jubilee Line I think it's called. Jumps line they put in a couple of years ago. Right, so this is the Jubilee Line. Do not expect any jumping. I can't jump. Oh, there's a bit of air there. And a bit of air there. I hit that corner wrong though. There are two lines you can take when you go around here. One to the left and one to the right. Let's take the one to the left. That's not a drop. I don't know why there was a sign there. These are, I guess you can gap them if you want. I can't even do a proper jump, let alone a gap. Well, that was done very slowly and shit, but there you go, that's the Millennium. No, the Jubilee Line, I keep getting that wrong. The Jubilee Line. So now we're going to do a bit of off-piste. This, I believe, is called Roller Coaster. I am going to take it easy because I've not done this for ages, and given that it's not an actual designated trail, it won't be maintained. So if there's trees down or sticks or anything else has happened to it, I'm not going to know until I get to it. So I'm just going to take it easy down here. I think if you rode this again once you've been down it to see if it's alright, it's you can get some nice speed and it's a fun trail. Bit overgrown. So this is Red 10, used to be Red 20. Oh, don't like that. Don't like that. Oh, don't like that pebbly corner. God, that was a bit of a shock. I've never liked that corner particularly, but I didn't realise it was quite that bad. That took me by surprise. So there are downhill trails here as well. They all go from where the top of that hill where this trail dropped in from. We're not doing those today. There are, let me think, 1, 2, 4 of them? I think there are 4. There's Bikini Car Wash, Baby Maker, Furminator, and I think the other one's called Deer Stalker. Although I've always called this bit of trail Deer Stalker, so I'm not really sure. But there are 4 of them. I've got a hope in hell of getting any air on those 2. I remember the very first time I rode this trail was November 2016, and I'd only just started riding a mountain bike and it absolutely terrified me. Could not work out how anybody could ride this. Every time I came across a little drop or a root or something, it scared the life out of me. I have to say I'm not much better now, but it did ignite my love of mountain biking. Now this section of trail is called Labyrinth. Again, it's one of these sections that I very rarely ride, and I rarely ride it because it's lots of corners, twists and turns, roots, just awkward fiddly little bits that I'm no good at, so I don't ride it very often. This trail has changed quite a lot since the first time I rode it back in 2016. We're talking, wow, 8 years ago. They've done some harvesting. You can see they've cut a lot of trees down. It was very different back then, and it was November, so it was wet and slippy and horrible. I mean, obviously I've ridden it quite a lot since, but it is one of the lesser ridden trails when I come here. This trail also seems to go on forever. You think you're coming to the end, and then you're not. Probably why it's called Labyrinth, because you just keep twisting your way around trees. It's never ending and you can't see the way out. We must be near the end now, surely. I can see it just over there. But how do we get to it? Here we go. And we're done. That was Labyrinth. So I've missed out the bit of woodwork that is the official entrance to this section of trail. I did it once. The exit off the woodwork is a slightly different angle to the entry, so if you're kind of looking where you think you want to go, you almost come off the edge of it, and I nearly came off the edge of it. So I've done it once, don't need to do it again. Right, this is going to be interesting. This is another quite overgrown one, and I've obviously got the 800mm bars, which I'm not used to, or I'm getting more used to them, but my Ute Proof has 760 bars. So I am being mindful of the fact that my bars are wider, and obviously it does feel slightly different. Not a very long section of trail this though, we're at the end now. So this is now Red 13, it used to be called Red 25. Red 25 has always been famous for its downhill section, one of the trails that people always kind of talk about when they come to Swinley. Red 13 doesn't really quite have the same ring to it, but anyway, we're on the kind of approach to the downhill bit of what used to be Red 25. And this is the downhill bit. Right, so what we're going to do now is head back up to Red 15, or what used to be Red 15. I can't get used to the new names. We missed that one out because we did the off-piste, so let's head up there. So this is now called Red 9. Used to be Red 15, recently rebuilt. And my foot isn't on my pedal properly. Well, I didn't ride that very well at all because my foot wasn't on my pedal properly. Bit of a shame. But we're not going to keep going on the red now. We're going to take a shortcut through here, back to what was Red 25. Oh, I can't remember what name it is. Red 13. Shortcut to the downhill section of Red 13, and then we'll continue with the waymarked trails as they should be done. This is now called Red 15, not quite the same as the old one. Right, this is the last section of the red trail, Red 17. This is a fairly new addition. It was built a year or two, well, longer than that, a couple of years ago. They added this in. A little bit of air on that one. So this bit we're on now was the old bit of blue, an old bit of stickler. I mentioned earlier on that that bit of blue used to be stickler. It used to go all the way through the woods. It was a longer trail, and they've incorporated bits of it into this new bit of red. Obviously rerouted the blue. And then we pop out onto this fire road here. This is the split point. We came through here earlier. When you come out of here, you can then either continue on the red or go back on the blue. But yeah, we've done the first pot of red from here. We'll go around the corner and head back on the blue. Right, so we're heading back on the blue now. This is blue 9. I like the view from up here. You probably can't see it very well on the camera, but out to my left you can see the trail snaking its way through the forest. Can you see it there? Right, now we've got a switchback climb, another little descent, and then we're pretty much done. Last little bit of downhill now. Right, into the final section of the blue. Just a short bit now, just to take us back to where the trailhead starts and back into the car park. This bit of trail runs alongside the very first bit of blue that you do. So from the trailhead, obviously you ride out, and this is just taking you back in. But the outward bound sections just on my right there, you can see it. And that's it, that's the end of the red and the blue trails at Swinley. Once again, the Crafty has made this old lady very happy. I really want to get one of these.